Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the CRC Network. And this is our network and sector meeting. The intention of this meeting is to help educate us about what's happening in the network and how everyone can plug into this work and be a part of it. My name is Rachel Allen, and I'm the director of the Peace and Justice Institute. And I'm grateful to be here with all these sector leaders and the leaders of this work. I want to acknowledge Kelsey Visser, who is not with us today, but I have to honor the legacy of the work that she's done over the last couple of years to get us to this place as a community network. I think we are in a phenomenal place. And I also want to honor Sophia Asedram, who is this year managing this conference and currently managing this work. And she too is a phenomenal leader filled with grace and has graciously moved us through yesterday's incredible conference day and then today. So we are going to honor now one of our sponsors. One of our sponsors in this work, a steady sponsor since the beginning, has been Orlando Health. And today, Sarah Osborne is here. And we have a video from Orlando Health just to tell us a little bit about their work and their commitment to what we're doing.
Hello, thank you for attending the 4th annual Creating a Resilient Community from Trauma to Healing Conference. I'm Carrie Diartona, president of Orlando Health Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children, right here in Orlando, Florida. At Orlando Health, it's our mission to improve the health and quality of the life of the individuals and communities we serve. We do this by caring for and about our patients. Daily, we take care right into the communities and neighborhoods where it's needed most. This is the very foundation the Howard Phillips Center for Children and Families was built upon. In response to an extremely high rate of child abuse in Central Florida, particularly Orange County, Arnold Palmer Hospital opened Howard Phillips Center in 2000. For more than 20 years, the center has been providing a continuum of unique, specialized services to at-risk children and families in the community. Unlike any other agency in Central Florida, the center addresses the needs such as abuse, neglect, developmental delays, behavioral health, and lack of access to proper health care. This past year, the center supported over 15,000 children and families. The Howard Phillips Center continues to provide services to our community's most vulnerable, even in these very interesting times. I know you share our commitment to making our community a more resilient one. During this 2-day conference, you'll continue to hear from our team at the center, along with leaders throughout the community, sharing their best practices and emerging opportunities. You were also introduced to 3 key concepts related to adverse childhood experiences: salutogenesis, syndemics, and system thinking. We would love to hear from you and how we can better partner together. Thank you for your time today and dedication to our community. Stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the conference.
That was such a lovely video, wasn't it? I love his tone and the graciousness of it. So we really appreciate Orlando Health, and Sarah Osborne is here and she'll be talking with us at the end of our hour today. Also want to just make sure we give a big shout out to Ann Pimentel Care, who's been a leader in this work from the very first meeting in 2019. And we're so grateful to you, Ann, and Sarah too. I mean, these two, they are steadies in the work. So, at PJI, we want to set the tone, right, with the network. And partly how we do this is by reading our principles for how we treat each other. And the important thing about these principles for me is that these principles actually establish a trauma-sensitive environment, okay? Because they fundamentally move us into slowing down, turning to wonder, and asking that open and honest question, tell me more, what happened to you? So this is such an integral part of our work. And I am happy to introduce Kevlon Kirkpatrick, who is a member of our network and a leader in the public safety sector. And he's going to lead us through this work today.
Well, good morning, Rachel, and thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2. I hope you all are as excited as I am. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to be here. and to share this space with you all. For those of you that have the packet, they are in the packet, I believe pages 35 and 36, or 36 and 37. And they have been graciously put into the chat by Jen Donalowski. So thank you. I'm going to read principle number 1, and we invite someone to read principle number 2 and another to read principle number 3 until all 13 principles have been read aloud. Please take the time today to find one that resonates with you and commit to it during the training and hopefully the week and the rest of the days that you are blessed to be on this wonderful planet. So with that said, principle number 1, create a hospitable and accountable community. We all arrive in isolation and need the generosity of friendly welcomes. Bring all of yourself to the work in this community. Welcome others to this place and this work, and presume that you are welcomed as well. Hospitality is the essence of restoring community.
Number 2, listen deeply. Listen intently to what is said. Listen to the feelings beneath the words. Strive to achieve a balance between listening and reflecting, speaking and acting.
Number 3, create an advice-free zone. Replace advice with curiosity as we work together for peace and justice. Each of us is here to discover our own truths. We are not here to set someone else straight, to fix what we perceive as broken in another member of the group.
Number 4, practice asking honest and open questions. A great question is ambiguous, personal, and provokes anxiety.
Number 5, give space for unpopular answers. Answer questions honestly, even if the answer seems unpopular. Be present to learn, not debate, correct, or interpret.
Number 6.
Number 6, respect silence. Silence is a rare gift in our busy world. After someone has spoken, take time to reflect without immediately filling the space with words. This applies to the speaker as well. Be comfortable leaving your words to resound in the silence without refining or elaborating on what you have said.
7, suspend judgment. Set aside your judgments. By creating a space between judgments and reactions, we can listen to the other and to ourselves more fully.
Number 8, identify assumptions. Our assumptions are usually invisible to us, yet they undergird our worldview. By identifying our assumptions, we can then set them aside and open our viewpoints to greater possibilities.
Number 9, speak your truth. You are invited to say what is in your heart, trusting that your voice will be heard and your contribution respected. Own your truth by remembering to speak only for yourself. Using the first person I rather than you or everyone clearly communicates the personal nature of your expression.
Number 10.
Go ahead.
When things get difficult, turn to wonder. If you find yourself disagreeing with another, becoming judgmental, or shutting down in defense, try turning to wonder. I wonder what brought her to this place. I wonder what my reaction teaches me. I wonder what he's feeling right now.
Number 11, practice slowing down. Simply the speed of modern life can cause violent damage to the soul. By intentionally practicing slowing down, we strengthen our ability to extend nonviolence to others and to ourselves.
Number 12, all voices have value. Hold these moments when a person speaks as precious, because these are the moments when a person is willing to stand for something. trust the group, and offer something they see as valuable.
Number 13, maintain confidentiality. Create a safe space by respecting the confidential nature and content of discussions held in the group. Allow what is said in the group to remain there.
Thank you all so very much. May you all have a fantastic day and a wonderful conference. And as my grandmother would say, paz, amor y buena salud. Peace, love, and good health.
Evelyn, thank you for that overview of the principles. And Rachel, thank you for having me this morning. I'm Jeff Goltz. I'm the Executive Dean at the School of Public Safety at Valencia College. And I'll take you through a little journey, a little history of the CRC and the Peace and Justice Institute, the work together, and why we're here today, really where it all started. The journey started several years ago. I remember Rachel approaching me and saying, hey, we're going to go down this path to develop a conference about ACEs. And when I found out about ACEs, I was all in. That is absolutely the gold nugget, I think, for our entire community across all sectors to understand, first of all, to understand ACEs and then move into the work of a resilient community. So let me take you on a brief journey for the next several slides. Our story began in 2019 when the Peace and Justice Institute was asked to organize and host a conference. And we put together a strategic planning team of about 12 people. And in 2019, we presented the Healing NEAN Conference together around a collective impact of ACEs and resiliency. And from that point, we became the CRC. That's when we started to grow and come together as a network in Central Florida. The mission of the CRC, the Creating a Resilient Community, is we are a network collaborating across sectors and communities to transform our region into one of prevention, hope, healing, and resilience for all. Currently, there are 383 members in our network in Central Florida. And our horizon goal is to create a resilient, trauma-informed Central Florida across many, many sectors. And we're doing that with 200 different agencies at this point. And we have very specific goals at the CRC, and you can see them on the screen. There's 4 of them. We want to create a shared understanding about the positive and adverse childhood experiences. We want to expand the CRC network's sector representation, accountability, and leadership. And you'll see how many different sectors are involved in a couple minutes. We want to learn, collaborate, and deepen our connections as a community network across all the different sectors and disciplines. And we want to leverage our impact through research, data, policy, and advocacy. And that's happening through all the expertise and all the energy that has joined this group over the years. We have several activities that occur in this group, in this network. We currently work to accomplish these goals through the activities through all these different sectors that you see on the screen, and there's 9 of them. The first is the annual Creating a Resilient Community from Trauma to Healing Conference. That was implemented a few years ago, and today we're celebrating our 4th. So kudos to the entire network, to the Peace and Justice Institute, and to everybody that's worked behind the scenes to put these conferences together. And you can see this conference was in person. The first one was down at the Florida Mall Hotel, the Florida Hotel, and we had several hundred people join us. The last few have been virtual, but hopefully we'll get back to that face-to-face interaction maybe next year. We also have networking meetings. We meet every month for 2 hours as a group. We learn, grow, and collaborate across all the different sectors, and we do a lot of great work in these meetings. If you'd like to join this community, there should be a form that's in the chat. You'll have to simply fill out that form and send it into the Peace and Justice Institute, and we'll officially get you into the group as a member within a certain sector. We also have film screenings. And one of the most popular is the one you see on the screen now, the resiliency, the biology of stress, and the science of hope. And I'll tell you, folks, we showed that screening, that film at the School of Public Safety in October of 2019. And everyone that saw it walked away differently. We had a lot of public safety sector attendees, and we all walked away differently and said, we have got to get the word out about adverse childhood experiences and resiliency. So as a public safety sector in particular, when we're out in the community, we have more empathy, we have more understanding, and we can help build more resilience in our community. It's a very, very powerful film. We've had 7 screenings. As of this month, we've had 7 screenings to 638 different, I call them ambassadors. Whoever comes to watch these meetings and comes to our training, they're ambassadors for our community. We've had 3 different screenings alone at the School of Public Safety, either virtual or in person. We also have the Why PACEs Matter workshops. These are a collaborative effort by the network to address our biggest need around the topic in our community is the education of adverse childhood experiences and resiliency. So Why PACEs Matter is another very popular workshop that we offer. We have 16 trained facilitators at this point from several different sectors. As of April this month, we've had 15 different workshops with 883 attendees. So if you couple resiliency and PACEs Matter, the workshops together, we've had over 1,500 ambassadors come to this training and are now in our community talking about ACEs, PACEs, and resiliency. We also have a community common read. We have a book club, in a sense, a virtual book club that was set up by the Peace and Justice Institute. And we encourage our community to read books on a very regular basis. As of this month, we've had over 303 of our CRC members read these books, and we've given over 400 books away, and you can see them on the screen. In 2019, the book, The Deepest Well, was given to our community and read. In 2020, we read Building Resilience in Children's and Teens. In 2021, we read Childhood Disrupted. And last year and into this year, we read What Happened to You by Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. So we have these common reads as another component of getting the word out, getting education out to our community. We also have PACES Connection Central Florida. This is an online space for community members, professional, and leaders to collaborate across all the different sectors in our movement to prevent adverse childhood experiences, heal from trauma, and build a resilient community in Central Florida. And who does that look like on the left on that picture? Rachel, who does that look like to you?
Who, Will Smith? Is that?
Yeah, it sure does. Every time I see that, I thought Will Smith was a member of our network. He may be. We'll have to ask him to join.
Yes.
The next one, as part of this PACES connection, our PGI is a community manager of this. And as of this month, we've had 257 members across all the different sectors join PACES Connection. So please join that as well. And you see the link there on the screen. And what does the CRC look like? It's all of us. It's all 9 different sectors that you see on the screen. I am the lead for public safety. In public safety, we are re-envisioning the police academy curriculum to include PACEs, trauma-informed practices, what is toxic stress, both in our community and in our forces, in our public safety workforce. We're advocating for programs such as mental health counseling and having mental health counselors ride with our police officers. We're exploring a program called Handle with Care. I'm going to talk more about that in our breakout room. And that notifies our schools when a trauma happens to a child, maybe the night before, and they're coming into class with that trauma hanging over them. So we're going to explore that as well. And we're doing a lot of other creative things in the public safety sector. In the criminal justice sector, they're training judges, the state attorney's office, the public defender's office about the sciences of PACEs. Education, they're educating future professionals in our community about PACEs and trauma before they go into the workforce, before they go into the classroom. In our health and wellness sector, we have local pediatricians screening children for ACEs to better understand their health and offer resources for prevention and healing. In child welfare, faith and nonprofit sector, they're making sure every person that touches the life of a child within existing systems is aware of the impact of toxic stress on a child's development of their body and their brain. Very important science to consider there. And they're leading out on important conversations about PACEs within their communities. In the government sector, we have supporting municipalities that are creating trauma-informed policies, program, and decision-making processes. In the business sector, they're creating trauma-informed workspaces and experiences for employees and clients. And the list goes on because through this network, we're able to facilitate the relationships, collaboration, and conversations needed to actually have a meaningful change together in our community. And currently, we're looking for a sector lead in business. So if you're interested in that, please let Rachel know. And next, I will turn it over to our next presenter. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff. You can see, I mean, there's an enormous amount of work, going on. And I'm going to remove my spotlight. I did that. Whoever spotlighted me, thank you. But I just removed it so I can see everybody. I'm honestly just thrilled. There's 104 of us here this morning because this is a huge showing and a huge commitment. So I would love just to hear some reactions to what you just heard in the chat in terms of the commitment of the network and the work of the network. So just comments, feedback in the chat. What we're going to do now is we're going to go break out into our sector groups. And so this is an opportunity. The sector chairs are here, and I want to appreciate the sector chairs. And I need to go ahead and put this screen back up so that we can see the names of our sector chairs. Oh no, the first thing I'm supposed to do is turn it over to, sorry, I got ahead of myself. I'm going to turn it over to Anne Pimentel Care, because she's going to talk to us about what's happened in the community with kind of a coming together. Sorry, Anne, I'm going to turn it over to you now. I got off my script.
Oh, no worries at all. This won't take very long, but I just wanted to share a little bit about a task force that we worked on. My name is Ann Pimentel Kerr with the Children's Advocacy Center at the Howard Phillips Center for Children and Families, and we are under the umbrella of Orlando Health. So in 2017 and 2018, 4 counties came together, Orange County, Osceola, Seminole, and Brevard, to form a task force. And this came from the cabinet meetings. And at this time, many of us had screened the resilience film that Dr. Goltz talked about earlier and knew that it was a game changer in how we do business. So part of the goal of the task force was to get the resilience film screened by as many people as possible and to create a dialogue and an energy about ACEs, resilience, protective factors, trauma-informed care. We train folks to facilitate the discussion around the film and encourage everyone in the cabinets to host screenings and to really try and move the conversation forward. So the Trauma-Informed Care Committee was an early effort to learn about ACEs and bring the knowledge to light. So during COVID, of course, COVID happened. So we continued to meet and discuss successes. We met virtually. There were many successes within the task force. And there were barriers as well. And we talked through those to see how other people were managing through some of the barriers. So we had sharing of ideas. We heard from agencies that were making great strides in creating a resilient community. Several months ago, we decided that it was really time to fully merge with the CRC network. And in essence, we were doing the similar work, same work, with shared similar goals as the CRC network. And some of us were part of both committees and both networks. So bringing everyone together to the same table was a more formalized way, and it just made sense for us to be all at the same table. So we invited everyone from the task force to sign up and be a part of the network so that they can be in their specific sector. And the CRC network has the structure, they have the backbone, they're able to provide tangible goals, move forward, track data. And there'll be a breakout for the milestone tracker that we are going to be able to use. The network is a more formal entity where we can be accountable to the work. We can all be on the same page, and we are preventing duplications of meetings and work, and we are sharing one vision and mission. So that's kind of the background about why we all decided to merge together. And myself and Tina Morgan, who is on this call as well, who is amazing, Tracy Klinkbill, who is on this call, who is amazing, both from the Department of Children and Families. Both those ladies and myself will have a leadership role in the sector breakout. So I just wanted to give you guys that little overview, and again, invite you and people in your agencies and your colleagues to join and be a part of this wonderful movement. Thanks, Rachel.
And thank you so much. And I just want to say, all of this started from nothing, right? It was a seed of an idea. We showed up in the room together and we're here. I mean, I'm amazed. We're 3 full years. This is 3 full years of work we're seeing in the community. But what I love, Ann and Tracy and Tina, is that with that leadership role you had in the Tri-County Regional Task Force, these 3 women have offered to stay in a leadership capacity and help the sectors move forward, because we need that. Every bit of this is volunteer work, and we need them to lead us and convene us as sector leaders and keep us on task. So this is a significant growth in the network, that we now have leaders of our sector groups, because these people here who you're seeing on the screen, I hope you can see everybody at the bottom. At the bottom, it says the business is not currently, that we don't have a business leader. That's what's at the bottom. That I don't know if you all can see it, but these are all of the leaders and the people that are helping in the sectors. And again, none of these people is doing this as part of their paid job. We all have other jobs, but we are working together as a network. So kudos to everyone who has stepped up in a leadership role, and thank you. And we have other people leading in focused groups, like we have a data group and our survey group. And so there's other groups of leaders who are helping guide the work. And then of course, every one of these sectors has members. So what's going to happen now is we're going to go into sector groups. And what you need to do is you just need to associate yourself with one of these groups. Where do you fit? I do want to tell you today that our government chair was called out in a family emergency. So our government sector is not here today. And so if you identify with government, please look at the list that I'm about to put up and just and find another sector that you're interested in, and you can learn about their work. And also, we do not have a sector chair for business. And I think we all recognize the importance of a business sector. So if that is something that matches your identity, if you're interested in leading this, talk to us, okay? Because the reality of all this work is the potential for saving us money in Central Florida by preventing ACEs and trauma is phenomenal. So business will like that, knowing that if we can grow up a community with less trauma, less mental health problems, less health problems, it's going to, be better for everybody. All right. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to open the breakout rooms now. So I'm opening the rooms. And if you go to the bottom of your screen and click on where it says breakouts, it's now your chance to choose your breakout room. So go ahead now, choose a room, and go to it. And if for some reason you can't choose your own room, then I will help you get assigned to a room. Okay. All right.
Experiences, members that are affected by community members segmented by race, household income, LGBTQ plus status, and other demographic variables. All this information is going to allow us to further illustrate the urgency of programs or the lack thereof. We know there may not be enough resources out there as they are that are designated to address this that's impacted every day in our community. We're honestly very excited to include this information in our CHNA this year, and you can expect the final report to be due sometime in the late fall. And I would like to say thank you very much for letting me share this with you today, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions at all. And I am done.
Sarah.
Try to make it brief.
Okay. One of my teammates just texted me. This is really important information she's sharing. Okay. And it is. And so did y'all just, I think what I want to just take a pause on is that, Sarah, look at this integration of the ACEs into this. 3 years ago, this did not show up in our community health assessment.
Right.
Can we all just hold that together for a second and breathe that in? 3 years ago, we did not have this shared knowledge. And so, Sarah, I thank you, because this is leadership. This is what leadership looks like, because Sarah has shown up for this work. And I want you to know that during these 3 years, she's been elevated to director of her division.
Thank you.
Like, come on now. She was elevated to director, and she has taken our work and made meaning of it in this collaborative community health assessment process. Sarah, thank you.
Absolutely. And I'll just share, I just saw a comment in the chat. The 58% that said they had 0 ACEs, that was either they chose not to answer, or they chose to say they had 0 ACEs. So what was significant to me were the number of people that chose to answer the survey, and that we had more than 12% say they had 4 or more ACEs. So that was significant to me. And just the fact that people were willing to answer the survey and provide that information was outstanding. Because now we know that people are identifying it and they're recognizing it in the community. And we have the opportunity as a collaborative group to address that in the work we're doing through our CHNA.
Now, I see it's 10 o'clock, but I also see Dr. Johnny has his hand up and I want him to speak. And I am willing, if you are, to go 5 minutes over. And then we have a 10-minute break before our first workshop. I feel like this is too important. So I'm going to say 5-minute extension. And if you need to leave, we understand. Dr. Johnny, please.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to quickly just follow up and say that the progress that we're seeing having ACEs and PACEs integrated into a community effort like this. Kudos to Sarah and your team and Orlando Health. I also have sort of knowledge and connections with public health writ large, especially the Department of Health. And I do know that there are a lot of people at the state level as well who are trying to make sure that, ACEs and PACEs are kept on the radar and also emphasized in various future state health improvement planning efforts. So I just wanted to put it out there that if you are not aware, I think that the influence of this, of how the significance of PACEs in larger context is happening. And I just wanted to let people know that. Thank you.
Dr. Johnny, this is so critical because he is another one of our local leaders working at the state level with the MDs and being able to speak up and say, we need to be educating around ACEs, trauma, toxic stress. And that voice is coming out of Central Florida at a state level. So thank you so much, Dr. Johnny. So again, each one of us is a leader in the work. Each one of us has the potential to bring change in our circle of influence. There's so much happening, so many ideas. Thank you, everybody, for a wonderful, wonderful sector breakout meeting. Thanks to our sector leaders.